Ms. Cassis, you had Miss McCoy file some ex parte orders concerning visitation. Is she going to be joining us today?
No, she's not representing me for child support hearings.
Okay. This is in the District Court of Ellis County, Kansas, case number 14DM273, Jason Kreger versus Shannon Cassis, formerly known as Carmichael. May I have an announcement of appearances, please?
Jennifer Harper appears on behalf of DCF.
Jason Krieger.
And Shannon Casas.
Mr. Kreger, I believe you had filed a motion to modify child support. Although I can't find the motion you had anticipated filing one. I don't know that I have found one in the court file.
We talked about it at a previous Zoom hearing, and we filed an oral motion, Your Honor, in order to modify this. But unfortunately, I was arrested, and the last hearing we had was interrupted through this. And at this point, I'm looking at 10 years in prison. So at this point, I believe modification would be almost useless at this point because I will not be receiving an income while I'm there.
Ms. Harper.
Your Honor, the reason modification came up is because we had filed a motion back in August of 2024, and case was set for hearing, and the order to modify was granted in October of 2024. Mr. Kreger then appeared afterwards and essentially wanted to re-argue that motion. But as the court has stated, there is no pending motion to modify on file.
We had modified this hearing because of your pending situation in Ness County, Mr. Kreger. And I don't want to get too much into that situation. But it looks like you've got some issues to deal with down in Ness County.
Yes, Your Honor. If we could put the child support on hold, depending on the motions that the ex parte motions that Shannon has already filed for custody, meaning that she's filed for sole custody. If we could put the child support on hold until I'm either released from here and custody is changed, or I am released until he is 18, pending the time I spend in prison. That would probably be the best recommendation for this case, since she's already going to be retaining sole custody.
Ms. Cassis, do you have anything to add?
I just kind of want to get things settled as quickly as possible. Obviously, there's stuff blocking everything. I'm just more worried about what was owed in the past. Moving forward, I'm willing to drop if I know I get full custody.
The reality is we're going to have to wait and find out what's happening with Mr. Kreger's situation in Ness County before we can do that.
I'm willing to give her sole custody, but I'm not willing to give her full custody because at a later date, if I do get out of prison early or that this case is later on dropped, I don't want to give her custody to where I lose all my rights, Your Honor, because I am not represented by an attorney. And to take full custody, I'd have to receive representation from the state. You've already mentioned that multiple times.
Your Honor, I'm not sure if we should be discussing custody issues or possible agreements without Ms. Schultz present.
Ms. Harper, you do not represent Ms. Carmichael. Thank you.
Mr. Kreger, would you let her finish speaking to the court, please?
So, Your Honor, that was all I was really wanting to say. This isn't about custody issues today. So I'm not sure we should be getting into issues regarding that.
Right. Today is strictly regarding the child support.
What I mean, Your Honor, is if
hang on, Mr. Kreger, let me finish. Today is regarding child support. Ms. Cassis is represented by an attorney regarding custody and visitation. You are certainly welcome to contact them, Mr. Kreger, if you want to discuss an agreed upon order. But the court's not going to take up the issue of custody and visitation. One, it's not noticed up for today. Two, Ms. Cassis does not have her attorney who she has retained to deal with those issues present today. Today was simply a hearing on the child support in which she is pro se and Ms. Harper represents DCF. Ms. Harper only represents DCF regarding child support, not custody and visitation.
I
So
understand.
it's not an issue we can deal with today.
I agree, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, what I was saying is if Ms. Casas is willing to dismiss all past child support up to present, reduce the child support to 0 while I'm in jail, I would be willing to allow her to retain sole custody of him until I've been released.
Well, again, Mr. Kreger, you're trying to leverage a child support issue into the visitation and custody issue, and we're not able to do that without her attorney being present.
Your Honor, but Ms. Casas has already brought that offer up to the table.
So as far as the current child support obligation, Ms. Harper?
Your Honor, there is no pending motion to modify, so I don't believe the court can take up modification issue today. There is the contempt issue, which I agree we should wait to see what happens with his cases before we proceed on that.
Okay.
And then the final issue before the court today is regarding the bond that was last posted in his case. And I would ask that the court allow the bond to be applied to past child support arrears.
Your Honor, I would deny that
On what grounds?
because I owed that money to somebody else and I need to return that money to them.
That money was used to post your bond in this situation.
Yes, I understand, but I owe that money to someone else, so I need to retain that money to pay them back because I don't have the money to be able to pay them back and they're waiting for me to pay them back.
And you also owe that money for past due child support, Mr. Kreger.
I understand, but unfortunately I am not able to work and Jennifer Harper also knows that as well. And I was spent 16 months in jail where I was unable to work and made 0 income. And that was not adjusted or done anything with either, Your Honor. I've been struggling and I've asked for some aid in this information, but Jennifer Harper keeps punishing me with more child support and throwing me in jail instead of trying to help and assist me through this situation through DCF. If she wants to take the $500 for child support, I would agree to that, but there would have to be some stipulation that child support would be adjusted to some adjustable amount to not burden me any further in the future, Your Honor. If she's not willing to do that, then I want to put the bond on hold until future notice as well.
Mr. Kreger, if you wish to file a motion to modify your
Your Honor, I have
child support,
Your Honor, I have no way to file a motion while I'm incarcerated. Your Honor, I have no way to mail it. I have no way to send it to you. I have no information to be able to file a motion, Your Honor. I have no way to retain an attorney. I don't even have the money to be able to file the motion, Your Honor.
you filed a $500 cash bond in this matter.
Yes,
That's what it looks like. That was filed back on February 14th. Oh, I'm sorry. The bond was filed on February 10th.
yes, it was.
Okay. And that was based on the bench warrant that was issued on January 28th.
Yes,
Well, the 520 cash bond you posted will be applied to your child support.
So, Your Honor, what am I supposed to do while I'm in here collecting $520 a month to where I'm unable to survive if I am released, Your Honor, because my child support will be so much that you'll just throw me in jail and prison again.
Mr. Kreger, you do have the ability to handwrite your motion to modify your child support and
Your
mail that
Honor,
to the clerk of the court.
Your Honor, I do not have access to paper in here to be able to do that, Your Honor. Like I said, I can't even afford to buy the paper. I literally have $5 on my books. I can't even afford to buy a phone card to call my family, Your Honor. I haven't had anything for several weeks now. And I don't have the address to the courthouse or the money to be able to file because the filing fee is $50, Your Honor.
When is your next scheduled hearing in Ness County?
May 19th and May 20th, Your Honor, depending upon the competency evaluation and psychological evaluation. Which psychologically, Your Honor, according to what the VA's last recommendations were, I'll probably not be able to continue after that.
Again, Mr. Kreger, we are on Zoom. Zoom is broadcast, so you want to be careful what information you're sharing, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Harper, Ms. Cassis, and Mr. Kreger, the court would propose we simply continue this and review it in first part of June. And
Your Honor, I would be more looking about the first part of August if I am released from here.
well, we could hold a status conference the first part of June. And by then, maybe you'll have an idea what's going on in your case in Ness County. Because you have a hearing, you've indicated in late May. So Jess, if we could set up a review, a scheduling conference / review. For the first part of June.
Judge, you would be available on June 2nd or June 4th or June 5th?
What time is the judge available on June 4th?
Currently he has the whole day, so I mean, I prefer setting it at either 9 or 1:30 to not break up the day, but
Okay, can we set that at 1:30, please?
Your Honor, am I free to go?
Soon as we finish setting this hearing. Does that hearing time work for you, Ms. Cassis?
Yes, it does.
And for you, Mr. Kreger?
I'll probably still be incarcerated, so yes.
Okay. And you'll do the order from today, Ms. Harper?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else for the record today, Ms. Harper?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kreger?
No.
Ms. Cassis?
No.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.